All right, Eric. All right, Brian Tinian. We'll see a lot more of Brian. And as we said, the guy knows how to win. He let him do a championship just 8 years ago.
Absolutely, 1992. And by the way, that's the last time Brian wore that suit as well. It's been 8 years. I mean, Drago's, he's not here anymore, but he was a stylish coach.
Well, he had
to help Brian
right.
with the collarless V-neck.
Well, he had to find it.
Sweaters.
He had to find it. Yeah.
Sweaters. There's you see Tinian's record, Mark. 3 games under 500. That does count. The loss last weekend to Philadelphia, but it's that playoff mark that's impressive. And, of course, the only championship in the Motor City's indoor history in 91-92.
And so Brian Tinian will try to bring back the magic to the Detroit Rockers, get a veteran group with guys like Knowles and Callahan and Bowers and Boney to really start playing better. We'll talk about that when we get the keys of the game. But he's the guy now, Brian Tinian, now the head coach. Drago gone after trying to get it done here in Detroit. Hey, it's Rockers game night. I think you know that by now. We'll have much more from CompuWare coming up as the Rockers get ready for the kicks, and so is Sean Boney and the fans. It's coming up next. It's on Rockers game night, Media One.
For 3 consecutive years, McDonald Ford has won Ford Motor Company's President's Award for outstanding customer satisfaction, achieved only by a select few, making McDonald Ford the best of the best.
Whenever I've needed an oil change, McDonald Ford provides a quick lube service in under 30 minutes or less with no appointment necessary.
When my car is in for service, I don't have to make an appointment to get a free service loaner.
I'm a Ford employee, and I really like the fact that McDonald Ford is open till 9 o'clock on Mondays for service.
McDonald Ford, 7 Mile on Northville Road, just a block east of Northville Downs.
Game's not tonight, ball kicker.
Make room for the Detroit Rockers at their new home in the CompuWare Sports Arena and on M1 TV Sports. Your home for sticks and kicks.
Live at CompuWare, you can see the 2 teams getting ready right there on your screen. That's the Philadelphia Kicks. And, of course, the Detroit Rockers towards the top of your screen, but that's the Kicks in white. Mark Wilson, Greg Brady, and Eric Hess, and a cast of thousands from Media One with you tonight at CompuWare. An exciting night, I would say, because Brian Tinian does make his home debut tonight. And if you're a Rockers fan at all, you do remember Tinian from those great days of the early 90s when they really got something going, put it together, caused a lot of interest in Detroit in that Rockers team, and unfortunately couldn't keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, a lot of the indoor fans in this game are youngsters that are playing the game itself, but there are a lot of traditional fans here that are now in their 30s, 40s, and they remember Tinian here, certainly, but it'll soon become a quick case of what have you done for me lately if this team doesn't start to win games. I mean, people are paying money to come out here. They're paying money for parking, and they want to see results, and 1-8's not going to cut it right now. The Rockers made the change, and like we said, get rid of the coach. The onus is pretty much on the players now, as it certainly will be, especially 3 games in 4 nights. It's going to be a big stretch for the Rockers.
And I think Rockers fans have to give it up to Rockers management for deciding, while it's always tough getting rid of a popular guy like Drago and getting rid of a coach at any time, they're making a commitment to win something here, and they want to win it now, and they want to see what they can do. Why waste the time? Cut bait while you have a chance and get what you want your program to be.
If it brings them results, for sure. But, as you know, Mark, there's some people that are skeptical about this move, and until they see this team win, they're going to remain that way. The Kicks and Rockers, of course, it's not the last time they'll meet, but it's not the first time either. Philadelphia 2 wins earlier in the season, like we said, 15-8 and 15-10, and boy, they really dominate almost every category. Power play and penalty kill, Mark, are the ones that jump out at me. The Rockers, when we did the game on Media One a few weeks ago, failed to get any distinct man advantages, and Philadelphia were, and that was very much the difference in the game, as well as the shots.
Well, it's like you said, look at those numbers. I mean, those are the kinds of things that you start saying, even though the shots for, shots against, all that, you have to start wondering the intangibles, why you can't beat a Philadelphia team like that. Philadelphia is not the greatest team in the world. They've got a pretty good record to start off with, but we've seen that the Kevin Sloans are off to slow starts, actually, compared to other guys around the league who have really got some great numbers going, which we'll talk about as the game goes along tonight. And so those are the kinds of things that I think why the Drago move was made was simply because they have been dominating teams, sometimes in shot selection and whatnot, but the scoreboard.
It was a matter of execution, and I think, they wanted to give Drago another game or two things weren't looking any better. Hopefully it looks differently this time around.
Yeah, let's go downstairs. Eric Hess has the head coach of the Philadelphia Kicks, who also plays, but I don't think he's playing tonight. Is that right, Eric?
No, he just told me, even though you're warming up tonight, Coach Amazi, you're not going to play tonight, right?
No, I'm taking the night off. Not so much to take it off, but I felt some of our guys deserve a chance to play. I want to give them a chance to play and get some experience under their legs.
And we weren't supposed to see you back here this quickly. Strange league when you got a team that's doing well that ends up folding, but it's going to mean a little bit of a disjointed schedule for everybody, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little adjustment, one quarter throughout the season, and we'll go on. I mean, this league is strong, and it will keep going, so we're not worried about it.
Last time you guys were in, Pappas in goal was really a key. Is he going to start tonight? And I mean, is that where you kind of build from?
Yes, Peter will be in goal tonight, and he's one of the main key players that starts out in the back, and we start our whole offense through him. We go back to him, and he's the one who distributes it. But not only that, he's as you've seen, he's a great goalkeeper, shot stopper. So we're confident with him in the goal.
Expect anything different from this Rockers team with Coach Tinney? And I don't know if you know anything about Coach Tinney, but he guaranteed me we'd see a different team here tonight.
I know a little about him. I feel as though he's come in and gotten the team a little more organized than they were before. Last week we had them in Philadelphia, and I thought just in 1 week they looked a lot more organized, more disciplined. And I think they're just going to improve. Plus they picked up some players here, and I can see them, making an improvement and making a run for it here.
Real quick before I let you leave, pull back here. The guys wanted to know about these shirts before, because you lose them when the game comes, but we kind of like these. What are these warm-up shirts?
These are just warm up in. They get real sweaty, so we got to get them off and put our jerseys on.
All right. We're always on fashion patrol. Thanks for your time. That's the head coach. Guys, I remembered the questions from last time, so I knew you wanted to know what they were. It just looks like a couple guys back-to-back.
I don't think it looks like a couple of guys,
Eric.
There's anything
wrong with that, Mark.
I don't think. Well, I was going to say, I thought it was a Charlie's Angels thing. Did you have to do it again? It's kind of like doing
I'd rather.
You'd rather
so well the first time. Those are Kappa stuff. No relation to Joe Kappa.
Yeah, I was going to say that's about what it looks like to me, doesn't it?
Kappa.
Omen did not explain that at all. But Omen Namazi, along with assistant coach Bobby Joe Esposito, have certainly done a fine job with the Philadelphia Kicks, and they'll try to do it again tonight. Last time we saw him, Omen did play. He will not play tonight. The head coach will just be the head coach, I suppose. We're going to have much more on Rockers game night, as the Rockers and Kicks are just a little short while away now from getting it cooking here at the CompuWare Sports Arena. It's Rockers game night at Media One. Don't go anywhere.
Soccer. Not so boring soccer. Catch the excitement of the Detroit Rockers at their new home in the CompuWare Sports Arena and on Media One Television.
Hi, I'm Holly, host of Detroit's Underground. I think it's cool. We showcase the best bands Detroit has to offer. Thanks. Right here at Lily's in Hamtramck. Now, don't forget, all new shows start December 20th at 9:30. That's my cell phone. Can someone answer? 9:30. At 9:30 on Media One TV, Channel 25. Channel 25!
Catch Elephant Gerald on Detroit's Underground starting December 20th.
I think she's pretty cool, by the way. Back at CompuWare, it's Rockers game night on Media One. Mark Wilson, Greg Brady, Eric Hess. You'll have to watch Detroit's Underground, absolutely.
When is that on again?
How come she can mess up, Amy, and we can't mess up? That's what I want to know. I want a ruling on that.
Well, folks can't see our rehearsals, though. That's part of the problem.
The Rockers tonight going for win number 2 of the season. The Philadelphia Kicks at 5-3. On paper, it looks like another one of those games where you go, oh, I don't know who the head coach is. I don't think it matters who the head coach is. It doesn't make a difference because Philadelphia is so good. That's not necessarily the case.
Not the case. The Rockers had a good lead against Philadelphia last time out. They trailed by 2 heading into halftime. 2 two-point goals out of the gate for the Rockers. They had a 12-10 lead at one point. and they never scored again. So a big problem for the Rockers has been finishing strong. A big problem when they face the Kicks is the fact that Kicks start so well. They've been ahead in every single game after the first quarter, and that really says something about the fast starts.
Well, that leads us to keys of the game, and these are kind of different than normal that we would always have for you because there's a couple of intangible things we've thrown in there, not just the X's and O's stuff, Greg, and one of them is obviously the Tinian factor, but attitude. I think that the Rockers can look at themselves in the mirror under Drago and say, maybe we didn't have the proper attitude coming out of the gate.
It's so tough when you're losing, Mark, at any level. When you're 9 years old and you're on a losing team, it hurts. So let alone when you're a professional. This team's got to understand they're 1-8. They've got more than 3/4 of the season left to go, and they're very much in playoff contention. And as we said, anything happens when you make the playoffs. So the attitude and the new coach factor do go hand in hand.
Now, Greg, you put down the last two, and I agree with you on the bottom one, but tell people what you mean by actually shoot more, because sometimes they'll look and say, hey, the shots don't look so bad. Maybe it's shot selection and the fact they need to really start pumping those shots out, no holds barred, so to speak.
Absolutely. The Rockers have been outshot in the first quarter by 12 shots, the second quarter by 30 shots. That's a mammoth figure, most in the league, and the third quarter by 17. They have outshot their opposition in the fourth, but by then it's too late. I mean, that's the thing. The other teams can really shut it down, play the neutral zone trap motif, and just roll on to a victory. And the Rockers need to get out of the gate faster, and also the power play chances, Mark. They've got 6 power plays overall in 9 games.
Bad.
That's not enough. There's some teams, look at Wichita leads with 22. I mean, teams are generating 1 or 2, maybe 3 chances a game. The Rockers aren't doing it. They're going to have to put the pressure on a bit more and force other teams to foul them harder.
Well, the other thing, obviously, without question, anytime you talk about indoor soccer, you talk about hockey, you got to look at goalkeepers, goaltenders, whichever way you want to look at it. And tonight, the Philadelphia Kicks bring in once again maybe the best in the league. It's very possible Peter Pappas, who does in fact lead the league in many statistics, is the best, and Pappas was phenomenal the last time we saw the Rockers, and there he is there. Got a great build for it, obviously, and he's always energetic. He's always enthusiastic. Thank you. Well, you always look at, I don't know.
There's no doubt. I mean, the size and
right, I don't want a tiny goalie.
The one thing we noticed is the wingspan last time. He's able to get from side to side a lot quicker than a lot of the other keepers in the league. For Scoop Stanisic on the other side, this may be a chance at redemption. Scoop started the year really slow. I was critical of him in the first couple of games. He's got to play well for this team to have a chance tonight. You don't expect him to play as well as Pappas. That's a difficult thing to do, but he's 1-6, a goals against of 17.07, and Dan Ilidiak, one of the Transylvanian trio, has played well when Scoop's been on the bench, an 11.85 goals against. So clearly the pressure's on Stanisic. He's also an older keeper, Mark, 37 years old, and Danny Diak's 27. So Scoop doesn't have that much time left. He needs to produce right now.
And Scoop now is about a month into his brand new baby. So I think the last time we saw him in that situation against Philadelphia, just had the baby. I think that took a little bit of a toll on him.
It probably does emotionally. So yeah, there's no excuses tonight for a letdown performance. And I think the Rockers now know, especially with Diak playing well, that they can throw him in at any time, and he will perform. He's been a good goalie thus far for the Rockers.
Well, we told you that the Rockers have 4 new players. They've come from Edmonton. They've come down from the hinterland, from the cold country.
It is cold up there.
It is cold in Edmonton. And we'll talk a little bit about them and continue onward as we move along on Rockers Game Night on Media One Television.
Hey,
look
Rocco.
Look at, hey, we're backing a bit. Oh, Rocco.